Only 3 minutes late.
That's not bad.
All right, go.
Go, go.
Set the timer.
Hello, everyone,
Hi.
and welcome to our live. So, first of all, I just want to say sorry that we weren't here last week. I got crazy sick, and it sucked. We had a stomach bug move through the house, and for some reason, it didn't seem to affect Wes or Nick all that much, but it really tried to murder me. So I was like down for the count for like a while. But I'm finally feeling like a human again. And so here we are. So first, I just want to say that it looks good in yellow. Thank you. I agree. Oh, God. You must change that.
Just stop.
Okay. So we are currently in pre-order week for the mini Shelby in Milled. Here she is.
Hold it higher. There it is. Go back a little. Come on.
So right now you can order the mini Shelby in Milled on the website in red, as well as all of our other colors. And
Today's Thursday. It's too late.
yeah, it's Thursday. Just to kind of go over this bag. So first, you guys probably know that all of our milled designs are fully lined with leather. So let me open it up. I can show you what the inside looks like. It's got a magnetic closure and a zipper top, just like a regular Shelby does. And the inside, I don't know what you guys can see in there. It's fully lined. Some leather dust in there. Fully lined all the way through.
The leather dust is free.
Yeah, that
comes with
it. I've used this bag in the regular bridal, and it's one of my personal favorites. You can fit like a decent amount of stuff in here, but it's not so big that it's overwhelming and you like can't find your stuff. The other thing to know, some people are asking if the strap is adjustable and can become a crossbody strap. It absolutely can. Sorry, I'm holding it high enough. So I can show you. So it actually can get longer than this strap can. We were running low on our prototype milled red leather, so I had to make this one like a tiny bit short. Where are we going here?
It gets the same size, as like our regular designs.
Cross, yeah. But here it is well, like I said, it can get longer than this, but
Probably like this much.
probably decent, like a few. Yeah. So there, she can be worn as a crossbody, just over your shoulder. You can have it like, I like to wear mine on my shoulder most of the time, but can you share the source of your hardware for your bags? All of our hardware is solid brass, and we get it from Buckle Guy. Okay, so yeah, right now you can pre-order this bag in all of our standard milled colors along with red. Again, we're only taking 10 orders for this, and then we're calling it.
And then this is the only time for red, so.
Right, and then red is a special one-time deal that we're doing, so, not deal, but you know what I mean. Special one-time color drop, so. And also people are asking a little bit about like the shade of red. I would say that this is a warmer red, not a cooler red. So red can have more like blue in it, which makes it kind of like more pink or purpley toned. And this red, I'd say, has a little tiny bit more orange in it. So more of like a poppy or tomato red, which is what I personally really love.
And then all the details are on our website if you want to check those out too.
Yeah.
We also have like the schedule for the next upcoming milled pre-orders.
Yes.
The next one in line is
Charlotte, and I'm gonna go grab that.
And then we might have to switch up the mini Chloe order.
Yeah.
We'll see, because we have leather on order to come in. So depending on when that hits, those might be reversed from what they are.
Right.
But we'll let you know about that.
Grab.
So. we're really happy with how this came out.
Yeah, it looks really pretty. So here is the Charlotte
It's a little
in the milled in red. It's funny. I like in prototyping this bag.
You're not tall enough.
Sorry, YouTube. I am just not tall enough. In prototyping this bag in the milled, I made it more complicated than I thought it, or than it should have been. So it was like
A couple times, yep.
yeah, it was an interesting experience, but I finally nailed down exactly how I wanted it to be. So first, just note that like the strap isn't correct because again, we ran out of the red milled for prototyping, and so I had to like throw in a random piece of other milled leather back there so that I could wear it for our photo shoot. So ignore that, but
It's a true prototype.
it is definitely a prototype for sure. But you can see there's like an extra layer in the wings so that they are nice and firm and stable. And that's actually just an extra layer of milled in there. And then the lid has an extra layer of bridle in there. And again, fully lined. It also, so this is another change from like the regular one. Typically I stamp the back of the Charlotte, but for the milled one, I decided we added a card pocket in there since it's fully lined. And I stamped our logo, it's really hard for you guys to see, on the card pocket inside. So yeah, fully lined. It feels so good. A pocket added to the Charlotte, yeah. And I'm really happy with it. This one, because it's definitely fully prototype. Like there's some things that I'm just like, oh, I shouldn't have done it that way. I should have done this other way, which now I know for the next one. So this one's probably gonna end up being mine. Once we get more leather, and I'll just make myself a correct strap, and then I'll be good to go. But so this bag can be worn around the waist. It can be worn across your chest, which is how I typically like to wear it. It's too big on me right now because of that strap there. I can't make it as small as I normally would. But
yeah, the pocket's awesome.
yeah, I'm trying to like throw in pockets when it makes sense for the line stuff because I just think it looks really good and it's a nice place to add the logo.
Somebody asked about the weight of the leather on these. So the exterior is about 3.5, and then the interior is like 2.5.
Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of match the same weight total of the bridle,
Right.
The regular English bridle. So it's not like super heavy or anything.
Yeah, it's not crazy heavy. I love this bag, especially as a mom. This is the bag I wear out when I'm like, we're going to the park or whatever, because it's hands-free. Typically, I can
That's where she
do what I
keeps
gotta
the
do.
snacks.
Sling it around the other way if I want it on my back, that sort of thing. But I absolutely love it. I'd say, so right now I use this bag, the mini Shelby that I just showed you, and the mini Chloe. Those are like on rotation pretty much for me. But we'll see as I make more milled stuff what might change.
So we're working with the tannery to kind of come up with some cool fall ideas. So
Yes.
we can't really say too much about what we're doing just yet because nothing's really settled.
Yeah.
But we're working on fall
exciting.
2024, and somebody,
Yeah.
for some reason beyond my comprehension, was sketching out new bag designs this morning.
I don't know who would do that. Wasn't me.
I was like, oh god, here we go.
You know that.
I do. It's fun, but it's just funny because like, it's funny the moment it's able to come out of your head. Like for
Yeah.
me to watch, it's hilarious because you're just like, do.
Don't tell Nick.
Yeah. What else we got?
What do we got?
You're working on a Greta and a Charlotte in Sienna today.
Yes, wrapping those up. They should be done momentarily once we're done with our live.
And we have leather dropping. It should be coming any moment.
Oh yeah,
Like a batch of leather.
yeah,
And we have
we've got a
another
bunch
larger
of
batch of
bags.
leather on order.
that we need to get done. We're just waiting on the leather to arrive. So then Nick will start cutting out.
Audible gasp. Order
Oh, I read audible group, and I was like, what does that mean?
so.
Yeah. What else? I don't know what else is happening. My brain feels slightly foggy. I'm still recovering, I think. I'm going to be working, soon I'll be working on finishing up the Big Sally.
Do you want to talk about it a little bit or no?
We can. We can. It's not finalized because it's extra heavy because I put our Sally
I was
wall.
like, what is in there?
Guys, that's so heavy. I put a wallet inside of it.
It's just my lead weights.
So we talked about this a bunch, but this is our Sally wallet. It can actually be worn as a bag. It comes with a crossbody strap. And then we wanted to make like a bigger crossbody version, and so I made this one. And then I was saying that I was going to kind of chop off the top because I just felt like the shape was a little too generic, and it didn't feel quite.
Well, it's kind of a companion bag, in my opinion, to the Sally. So like, it
Yeah,
doesn't have
it is.
quite the same Sally shape that it needed
But
to
I
have.
wanted to. So I was going to chop off the top. Then I felt like, if I do that, I feel like you're not going to be able to fit as much in there as like I want you to be able to. And the whole point of it was to make a bigger version of this that you could fit like a bunch of stuff in. And so I'm kind of starting to play with the idea, instead of chopping off the top, I might just make it like a bit wider this way. But then I have another idea that I was sketching out this morning, and so I need to talk it through with Nick and see what he thinks. If it's it might be like a separate bag idea, or it might be that this and the other drawing needs to come together to create a new.
So sometimes
baby.
bags come out as like all the bells and whistles are on them basically, and then you need to edit it down to what is this bag. Is this bag fine with just the one thing on it?
Right.
And then we put the other piece on a different design entirely. So like kind of whittling things down is like a key part of the design process.
It depends how things go for me. Sometimes I will go really, really simple, and then it's like not enough.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I will go like overboard, and it's like, well, edit it
Calm
back.
down. What are you
Calm down. So yeah, I think right now I'm just feeling like I think this is
cargo shorts with the zipper off bottoms, just everything.
Voltron bag. I love that. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I have two separate bag ideas or if I have one and they just need to like become friends.
And then a new collection is born.
And then I continue on with my ridiculousness. But yeah.
It was interesting to see you guys vote for your least favorite color, even though a lot of people ended up reading it as your most favorite color. So the results were confusing.
They were. We had a lot of people message us afterwards, be like, so I read that wrong and I voted for my favorite color rather than my least favorite color.
So basically, it's just split amongst all of them. So
yeah, we don't really have a good answer on that.
We
are so hard for voting.
We are thinking about, or I'm thinking about what needs to kind of go away so that we can add more.
Yeah.
Or add different things.
Yeah.
So whether that's a color, whether that's some designs, or both.
Or both, yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Least favorite color was difficult because they all look very good. Oh, that's very nice.
I know.
Thank you. And we love all the colors too. I fully get that. But yeah, we have lots of fun things planned, I think, and it's just about getting there.
Waiting.
And getting through that.
What else? So the other thing I think I brought up, if I remember correctly, we were curious if people want all of our designs in milled versus just the 6 that we selected, which is really 8 with the Sally and the Betty. And we had quite a few people say they're interested in certain designs as a milled option too. So I would love to hear more people's opinion just to see if that's something that we should have like a separate milled of all of the designs on it.
Yeah.
Or just keeping the 6 when they come back after the pre-order period.
Right.
So.
Yeah, like some people wanted to see like the Phoebe or the Greta in milled. as well. So yeah, we'll
I think
see.
the only two bags I have some question about, just because of their size, are the Luna and the Ingrid.
I agree with you.
They might just not like be functional. So,
Yeah, I just don't know if it would be like
or if it would be the same but of its counterpart of the
Right.
bridle.
yeah.
So,
I agree with you. So we'll see.
yeah,
What else is going on?
that's all I had.
Okay.
I'm done. 14 minutes.
We started a timer, just FYI, because
Yeah.
we tend to talk forever sometimes.
And I started it
or rambling
on time.
And so, yes, we need to make sure that we keep it short. Not short, but So yeah, I don't know. What else do we want to talk about? You guys are obviously really loving the red, which is
Yes.
exciting.
Yes.
I think most of the milled that has sold has been red, which makes sense because it's absolutely beautiful, and I would do the same.
Well, when we do any kind of, when we take photos of any specific bag, I feel like that one tends to just get a little more love
Yeah,
generally.
yeah.
But the red's awesome.
The red is great, and it feels really, really good, and it looks
Yeah.
beautiful. So I'm not surprised by that, but it's really good. It's really cool to see how much you guys feel the same way as I did about the red.
Disgusting. Start over.
Could you line the larger milled bags with the smooth leather to add structure and support? That would just make for a. I mean, you could.
It's a balance between the weight of the total bag and the structure it can have, without adding like traditional stiffeners, I guess.
Right. We don't add stiffeners to our bag besides other like leather in there. So like for instance, and actually I don't think it's on this. It is on this.
Maybe you could Photoshop the milled over the design to see it, just trying to help with time. Yeah, I think
I thought about doing that actually.
I think that the mini Luna would be fine with the milled, and I think it would be a good size. I don't know if the
It's
the big one
Luna.
is just gonna work, and like I think it has to be made to kind of understand that,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
or fortunately. So let's see. I tried to find Wicket and Craig milled red to hoard for myself, but couldn't find any. Yeah, so it's not a standard option for
Yeah,
them.
it's something that we worked with the
Yeah.
with the tannery to come up with.
And that's something that we're trying to kind of figure out, like as we get more mature in our business. How are we?
Standing out.
Yeah, how are we standing out? What can we offer that no one else is?
Yeah.
Um,
And so we're
so
hoping
more like exclusive.
we're hoping
to
to
us.
be able to do more exclusive colors and things like that in
Yeah.
the future. We yesterday just had a really great talk
Yeah.
with the tannery, and I think some really cool things might be coming because of that. So
But that's how it works.
yeah.
And we're trying to also do. I've had in my mind for a long time, how can we personalize or create some hardware that's like specific to us. So that's something that we're trying to figure out as well,
Yeah.
which could be fun.
Yeah.
We're just trying to do fun stuff,
Just trying to make it
just the fun stuff.
fun. Make it fun. I'm excited once we get all the red pieces done for you to photograph them as a big family. I think that'll be really fun.
Spotify now has audiobooks.
Okay.
All right. Good to know.
That's good to know. I love an audiobook.
Have you ever sold your items in a boutique or have any experience on this? So we have.
did a little bit at the beginning.
That's something that we decided, I think, early on that, especially at that time, wasn't really for us
Yeah.
for multiple reasons.
Yeah. One of the biggest reasons is the price point. Like, in order to sell in boutiques, you need to have a higher price point because they typically tend to take 40 to 50%.
Yeah. Because it's got to be worth it for them to
Of the
carry your
sale.
goods.
Right. And
But
so
the other side to that is you might get more volume at a lower price point, so it might even out. So there's a lot of work on that side.
yeah, but because of that, we kind of decided it was something that we weren't going to do. But the one thing we have done that I did enjoy, and if we could do it, I would do it more, was doing pop-ups. Doing pop-ups in other boutiques is really fun because typically they are taking a smaller percentage, and you still get to be in the store and have that exposure. It's for a shorter period of time typically.
It's like doing a show, but
It's like
for
doing
like
a
3
show in a
days
store.
indoors.
Yeah. And it is really fun, and I feel like you can get a lot out of that because you can see who their customer is, see if their customer
Yeah, if it's a good
likes,
fit.
yeah, if it's a good fit without having a big commitment. So I do think
And
that
that
that's
could
like
also
a good
then
way.
lead to like a partnership
Right.
or something.
Exactly. I think if you're thinking that that's something that you want to do, be in boutiques, the number one thing is to think about the price point and where your price points would have to be in order for you to make the profit that you want. And then I would suggest like going to boutiques that you're interested in and offering up the idea of doing a pop-up to see if it might be a good fit.
Jessica with Sally Tomato is amazing in Wisconsin.
What is that?
And knows all about hardware for bags. She could be a great resource.
Oh,
Okay.
Sally Tomato. Is that the name of the company?
Well, you can look it up. Don't know.
Okay.
40 to 50%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it just, I mean, sometimes on higher end goods, it'll be less just because of
Right.
pure price point. But
Yeah.
It's a whole negotiation. It's a whole
And
thing.
it's
and it's got to benefit everybody.
Right. And we really wanted to make our things, while we know our bags are expensive, we try to make them as affordable as we can.
Well, based on the materials we choose,
Right.
we haven't truly put them at price points where they would sell in retail, to be honest. So like basically if you doubled all of our prices, that's what they would need to be in retail for it to make sense.
Is it possible? Is it a possibility to have a long handle on the new Sally?
So she's
yes, it
she's
will.
thinking,
Yeah,
she's got a lot of thoughts about the new Sally.
I do. Originally, the idea, you can see this isn't done. You can see like the one edge isn't finished, but there's holes in there for me to weave a strap through. It's gonna have a strap of some kind. I haven't fully figured it out. It might just be our regular crossbody strap that's adjustable and that's it. It might be something different.
Sorry, going back to the retail conversation, a lot of times what people will end up doing is reducing the quality of the materials they're using so they can be cheaper, so that you can have like a better play. Because people have to buy this stuff too. Like it has to be affordable to your target customer. So that was something we also didn't want to do. We didn't want to compromise on like the quality of the goods. And we were fortunate enough to be able to kind of help create a community, and people bought through our website. So
Right.
it's a great way to get some exposure. It's a great learning opportunity, in my opinion, no matter what happens. Maybe you realize you're priced too high, too low. Maybe you realize that there's not a market for one of the goods that you're putting in the store. Like there's a lot you can learn. So, and everything's a learning opportunity. Always.
Yeah. And I think what we really hope to do in the future is that, if we can come out of the basement, is to have our own, our studio separate from our home and be able to have a shop within that in some way.
I have a huge purse collection, and many are from high-end brands, but yours are being used the most. See, that's
Oh,
awesome.
That's amazing to hear.
They're meant to be used. Like,
Yes, thank you
Yes.
so much for saying that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want to hear. Thank you.
So I was putting together over the last couple of days more thoughts and spreadsheets on how to escape the basement. So that's what's
It's
another
something
thing we're
that
thinking
we'll
of.
probably be talking about in the future.
Have you ever thought of adding clasps to straps for other strap options for purses?
Yeah, a lot of our bags have that.
Well, yeah, the crossbodies do.
Most of them. Here, I'll just grab one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like trying to show you with my hands, it's not going to work.
No.
So yeah, the crossbodies typically have a detachable strap.
Yes. So this is our mini Bowery in the milled red. It has a detachable
That's a good
strap.
question.
So yeah, a lot of our crossbodies have that.
All the shoulders
only-
don't, but
The Shelbys don't.
right, because that's the design doesn't really allow for that.
Yeah. I mean, I could make it that way. I just, the idea was for it to be like very minimal and not have a lot of hardware. So that was,
That's some of the hardest things. You have to get creative with your solutions when it's really easy just to add a piece of hardware to something, like it works.
yeah.
But is it giving, is it true to like the design vision?
That you were trying to go for. So yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of our crossbodies though do have a detachable strap.
Basement escape.
Like the Chloe mini
Escape the
Chloes
basement
do.
is the most perfect title. I know. It's on the title of my spreadsheet.
Is it Escape the
Yes.
Basement?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know what we would do with this amount of space afterwards. I feel like
What,
we'd
in our
make this
basement?
into a racetrack
We
for
could-
Wes or
yeah,
something.
Get a go-kart.
Yeah. Oh my God! Don't say that to
He
him.
would lose his mind.
He would lose his mind.
Yeah, it's interesting to consider like all the things that you need to leave the house, right?
Yeah.
As far as a business is concerned.
Yeah.
You know, a lease on a space, insurance, utilities for a separate space.
It's a
it adds
lot.
up quick and it's interesting.
And you typically have to like make
employees.
renovations to a space to make it work for you, that sort of thing. Yeah, there's a lot.
And the things that it allows you to do is get like there's about 3 machines on our brains that we would love to add to our shop, but it's
Yeah.
going to get pretty cramped soon.
And like getting things down physically to the basement is
Yes.
difficult. So like being above ground would be nice.
That's one of the reasons we went with a manual clicker over
The
a hydraulic clicker.
Yeah, just
And
because
then-
it was lighter weight to get it down the basement.
Getting a space with 220 volt electrical is a lot easier in a commercial space as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to consider.
So it's been a lot on our minds.
I feel like there was another one, but maybe I missed it, or maybe
I think it was just a.
No, I think there was one before.
I
Jamie's.
don't think so.
Okay, I made it up.
I made it up.
She said something else.
Oh, jeez. What machines are on your list? So, for us,
Oh, never mind.
I'm kind of against it a little bit, but we might need a bell skiver for the mill, just because it'll make
It
the
would make
flow so much easier.
My life easier.
So that's my goal, is always to make Leanne's life easier.
Thank you.
Um,
Appreciate it.
and
Yeah, it would make making the milled bags easier. It's not necessary, but it
Right.
would make it easier.
so we were kind of waiting to see the
Yeah.
popularity, if that was worth the investment for us.
Right.
And then another machine we've been looking at is a strap cutter, because if we end up going the route of custom colors and custom leathers,
Yeah.
then we would need to cut our own straps and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
So
just a necessity at that point.
right now, with the regular bridle, we are typically getting our straps cut through Buckle Guy. So we ordered that leather through Buckle Guy so that
Right.
that they cut the straps for us. Because
Which is a
it's
great
just
time
a
saver.
Huge time saver, and it's not like crazy expensive. But a strap cutter is crazy expensive, but we would have no way. Yeah, it would be.
Well, I'm not hand cutting
Yeah,
3/4
like for
inch
the milled,
straps.
yeah, for the
that
milled,
much.
that is what we are doing
Not doing it.
for now. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, what was the other piece?
Those are the two on like top priority. And
And then we
then
always talk about a post bed.
a post bed and a hydraulic clicker would be also part of it. It's hard not to just like want to buy everything. What machines are you wanting to add? I think every time like we get a new thing, I'm like, that's it. Like
Oh, I
we're,
know, I
we're
think
set.
the
We don't
same-
need
we don't need
anything
that
else.
anymore.
And then like,
Yeah.
well,
But then it's typically my fault. So because I'm like, let's make this bag that we've never
Well,
tried before.
as we like grow, like
Yeah.
the skill sets are changing. So like
Yeah.
having more options like gives us more options for bag designs. And
Yes, and that would be like the reason for the bell skiver. Besides it just making it easier, it would make other bag designs options
Yeah.
as options, and same with the post bed.
I don't know if I want to give her more options about that though. I don't know.
Why not?
Do you sell patterns for your products? We have the Greta as a pattern option, and then there's a bag called the Penelope, and then a wallet, which
Bigger,
I forget what it's
like
called.
I don't.
But we haven't added patterns in a while because we've been busy with other stuff.
Yeah, we would like to add more patterns, and it's something that like we always say we're going to do, and it just doesn't seem to happen. but maybe one day.
How many machines are on your list? I have about 20. Well, yeah. I mean, my real list is much larger. My more realistic list is the 3. Have you ever thought of turning one of your bags into a backpack? So we used to carry one.
We did have a backpack. It's something I think about, but honestly, so there's a couple things that hold me back from doing a backpack. I feel like if I did, oh, there's the alarm.
Wow. All right.
I feel like if I did a backpack, it would have to be like more of like a fashion backpack, meaning like something much smaller, just because like with leather, when you get that big, it starts to get very heavy and it's not very practical as that type of a bag. So there's that part of it. And then the other part of it is even when we had the backpack, it was a great design. I really loved it. I'd probably if I were to do a backpack, I would do something similar. But it honestly was never like a huge seller for us. Like our purses just, handbags, crossbodies just tend to do better for us. It's definitely not something I would say no to though. But yeah, those are the reasons why we stopped doing that backpack and haven't done one since.
I love my Skyver. I wish I bought it 20 years ago. I know.
Oh.
That's kind of how we end up feeling about every tool we get. We're
That's
just like,
accurate.
we should have just done this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if that were the case, we'd be standing on machines right now.
This is true. You have to be realistic about what we're doing here.
Okay. Have you ever, oops, just kidding. What's the difference between the milled and your others? It's a great question.
It's a great question. So this is like a really good way to
Leanne's
show
going to have infinite power soon. Watch out.
So this
She just powers up.
So this is the Charlotte in our regular bridle. You can see it's like
infinite bag designs.
very smooth leather. When you open it, this part is milled. It's got that pebbly texture to it. And then as far as like our bag designs go, the regular bridle is going to be smooth and not lined. The milled collection is
double the fun.
Yeah, it's fully lined on the inside with more milled leather. Let me see, it goes all the way inside, all lined completely inside. The difference between those two leathers, so they're technically actually the same leather. They're just the milling
treatment.
is a different process. So they are bridal leather, and then they take the bridal leather and they mill it, which is basically like tumble it, and then they stamp it and when you do that, it creates that like pebbly type of texture. You can see,
which is, I believe, naturally found on like bison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like deer.
Yeah.
So it gives you that like pebbly texture, but also gives the leather a really soft temper. So our bridle is definitely like stiffer and will soften and break in over time like a good pair of shoes. Whereas the milled has that temper like right off the bat. It's very soft and buttery.
Your Domestica class is great.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Thank you for taking it.
Yeah, someone just posted one of their final projects up yesterday or the day before, and it looked really good.
Yeah, it did.
It's so cool to see like people making. I don't know. It's fun. It's really fun to see that happen.
Yeah, for the person who asked if we have patterns, we also have a course online that you can take and like make a bag with us, and it's on Domestica. So.
How about a micro Bowery?
So tiny. What are you gonna put in
like
there?
This way?
Okay.
You can scale the rim down.
I would love to know if you are someone who likes micro bags. So we make mini bags, like our mini Bowery. If you are someone who likes micro bags, I just want to know, what are you putting inside of it? Are you just putting your phone in there?
I think they're more for fun.
Or like, are you not putting anything in? Maybe it's just like chapstick. I don't know.
It's where the animal crackers
But
live.
I'd love to know what you guys are putting in there, because it would help to know how many to go. We have had a good handful of people ask about making the mini Bowery into a micro Bowery. But I'm like, I don't know what goes in there.
I'm not the right person to ask for that.
Yeah. I'm not really either. Like, I like a small bag, but like a bag that tiny, I just don't know what I'm putting in there.
probably just like it's probably the
chapstick.
equivalent to your pockets. So like a phone and like your chapstick.
I don't even know if you can fit a phone in some of these bags.
Really.
Yeah.
Do you guys still do crafters markets or do you rely on online sales? So we're only online at this point.
Yes, we've stopped doing markets mainly because the amount of orders that we get in a month, I can't make additional inventory to have a show. Typically, when we would do shows, I would make one of every bag in every color that we offer, and I just don't have time to do that on top of the orders that come in. So we're definitely not saying no or never to doing shows again someday. Hopefully, our plan, our like, look into the future is to hopefully build get out of the basement, build a small team, and hopefully in that case we could, create back inventory and do shows again. I think if we did that, we would be very, very select on the shows that we did.
Yeah.
We maybe only do like 2 shows a year or something like that, but it would be something that I would love to do again, given that we could.
Apparently, Grand Central Station has a show,
I'm still very confused
and they
by
reached
that.
out to us, and like that's like
I don't understand fully how that works. I feel like we need to find someone who's done it before and ask them about it.
because the figures they gave us were
We're
wild,
insane.
which I could believe given
The
the
amount of
location
humans.
and the volume.
I'm more worried about I just don't even know how.
But that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Who is your leather vendor? So we get wow, my brain stopped working.
Whoop.
Wicket and Craig.
Wicket and Craig. 100%. So we are based in Pennsylvania, and Wicket and Craig is also based in Pennsylvania. So we love that reduces our carbon footprint a little bit, and it's also great because we can go and visit the tannery, which we've done in the past.
Yeah. I was just thinking about when we were going to do that this year.
Yeah, I think we should for sure, especially if we're going to be doing something special in the future, that we will be visiting them again this year.
On the same bag, will it fit a plus size person? So, so this is a great question.
Yes.
So on any of our designs, you can
You can
in the notes you can just request whatever size is most comfortable for you.
Yes. So a couple, yeah.
So if you have a bag you love and you can measure it,
exactly.
and just send us the total length, we can totally just
Not
do
a
that.
problem. There's no additional fee for doing that. I do always try to make our straps as adjustable as possible. This is a strap that's not attached to a bag currently, but I can show you. It's like part of our design of our strap is that it can get very, very small and very, very long. But if you need a longer strap, it's not a problem. You can order any of our bags, and just in the notes, you can let us know.
Some people like to wear their bags longer. Some people are really tall, but whatever.
And it also gives you the option with like our crossbody bags to make them into shoulder bags.
It's true.
Because I personally like to wear shoulder bags. So this is how short it gets. This is like our normal strap.
I think the only thing to note is the shortest length then becomes a little bit longer as you increase the length, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, what are you saying?
Just
And then it can
engineering.
get this long as a crossbody strap. So there's a lot of adjustability within that. And we list the adjustability on the website for each product. It should say like it can go from this length to that length. And if you feel that the longest length is too short for you, or whatever the case may be, you can order the bag within the notes section to let us know how long you'd like your strap to be, and we can make that happen. Or if you've ordered a bag and you forgot to do that, you can also email us right after ordering with your order number, and
we'll
then
make a
tell
note.
us that information, the strap length there.
And we've also done, it's totally up to you, we've done like fixed length, three-quarter inch straps. So if you know you just never change your strap length,
Right, and you
just want one strap,
solid.
then we can do that too.
Totally fine.
There are options. When will there be another chance to order the milled Big Bowery? So we haven't fully decided on a date yet, but it's going to be later in, it might be late
spring, early summer.
early summer.
Yeah.
Because once these pre-orders are out, yeah, it'll be later, like maybe May,
June.
end of May.
Yeah.
It's a good question too. You can always, like we always say this, sign up on the product page,
Yes.
and then you can get notified when it comes back. I do apologize to the people that signed up for the mini Bowery return.
Oh,
I
yeah.
accidentally sent them out because I had to do it manually. The automatic function on our
The back
notification thing
Yeah.
wasn't working, so I accidentally did that. I'm sorry. The sling bag was what I was talking about. Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's-
yes. If you'd like to have the strap longer or shorter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
yeah, it gets.
it
to
actually
be-
is very adjustable. So this is, it can get shorter than this. I am very short, just under 5 feet, but it can get very, very long.
Sorry,
or-
we misunderstood.
So yeah, sorry about that.
But yeah, that can also be whatever length you need it to be.
Yeah, so it can get quite, here, you put it on.
Here, you put.
So like on Nick even, who's much taller than I, yeah. And I have plus size friends who wear this bag without issue. But again, if you
Yeah.
want a longer strap, not a problem, just let us know and we can make that happen.
AirPods Bowery.
Oh, that's what goes on there?
Oh, Jamie said that.
Oh,
That would be good.
I really wanted the
this
answer
is an
to that.
AirPod specific mini micro mini.
Would you put it inside
How did
the
you
mini?
turn your hand press into a foot press? I'm trying to design something that works.
Oh,
But physics is hard.
do you know the name of the guy that does that?
Well, someone sent us
Yeah.
this one, but I had just basically rigged like some brass pieces, a chain and leather, like a leather stirrup, and drilled a hole through
The table.
our workbench
Mhm.
and used it that way.
Yeah, so like the arm of the rivet press, there is a hole on there, so you can put a chain on it
Yeah.
and go down. So yeah, so
if
Nick
you want to
just,
do the whole thing as a chain, I probably would recommend that, so
Yeah,
you don't have
nothing
any
breaks.
workplace accidents.
like what happened to my face. We won't go there. But if you want, Daniel, you can DM us, and we can let you know the guy who made our stand because it is really great.
The arm of ours has a hole in it, so I don't know what your setup looks like.
Oh
so,
right, if you don't have
so
the
it
buckle
depends
wrap
on
around.
that
That's true.
as well.
Just do my hair.
How many styles do you have right now?
Let's not talk
Not
about it.
including milled. It's at least 12. Right? Yeah.
I don't know. You know more than
What
me.
kind of hot press do you use? We have a quick print. It's like a larger quick print.
Yeah.
We got it secondhand from somebody who no longer needed it.
Yeah, we got
Can't
it.
remember the model
a
name.
really
I feel like
good
it's 59 or something.
Discount. But there's a lot of super affordable ones out there that I've heard are
Yeah.
just as good.
Since we got that, like I've seen at least like a dozen new kinds.
New models that are like really inexpensive. Yeah.
Where do you offer courses? So we have a course on domestica.com. They are
They're based in Madrid,
Madrid.
Spain, but everything is translated into like tons of languages. Obviously, we speak
no,
English,
obviously.
so
Hola.
it's very easy to do in English. But if you speak a different language, they probably have it.
I think we have it linked somewhere in our profile, maybe on our highlights.
But yeah, if you go to
We're so good
Domestica
at
and
this.
search Hemlock and Hyde, I'm sure it would come up, right?
You guys ever have any help, or you're doing everything by yourself? So the majority is by ourselves. This little person. We do have a leather working friend that helps us make straps.
Yes.
So
Just to save
that's
us
the
a
one
little
thing
bit
we've
of time.
kind of
Outsourced.
outsourced.
Yeah. But he's based in the U.S. and
Yeah.
yeah, it's been very helpful actually.
Yeah, it's been really helpful. Micro
micro
bags.
bags.
I put cards, cash, lip balm. Usually have to carry a phone in my pocket.
Okay, so
Use them
phone can't
for
fit in there.
super minimal days. They are tiny though. Okay.
Okay.
Wrap your brain around that.
Cards, cash, chapstick. Is that what she said?
Cards, cash, chapstick, lip balm.
And then the phone goes somewhere else. Okay. That's super helpful. Thank you.
You guys are amazing.
Oh, well, thanks.
It's the sweater. It's the yellow sweater.
That's where all my power comes
Okay, here we go.
from. So you know we're going
Nice.
very much over time.
I know
sir.
we are over time, and it's killing me. How many bags do you produce a month? Depends on the month. I think we kind of max out at the 60 range
60, yeah.
with our fastest design. Well, I mean, we could
No,
make
we
like
could
a
probably
million
do
betties.
more.
But
yeah, it depends on the bag. But
that's not a bag.
the most we've ever done, I think, was in the 60 area.
Yeah, it gets hairy at that point. You're just like,
Yeah, that's a little insane. Slightly
I just
lost
feel like
my
I'm
mind.
always ordering leather. And yeah, so that's kind of the interesting thing. Like, as we think about like the future and trying to grow, and how to do that in the best way, like that's definitely on our minds.
If you only get leather from one tannery, yes.
Yes.
Yep, we just get everything from within Craig.
I love photos you guys do. What lens are you using? So it's a Tamron.
Oh, now we're talking about photo stuff. This could really go off the rails.
It's fine. Everything's fine. So I'm glad you asked.
Of course you do.
So I rented this lens for our very first photo shoot, and I loved it. And it's the Tamron 2470 f-stop 2.8. So I use this for everything. I'm probably, I don't know, I'm probably get hate for it, but like I use this, I don't change my lens. So I have been recently, for some reason, researching mirrorless cameras against all
Against the
normal feelings
what we
once
would
you
ever
have
think
about
you would
purchasing
do.
things. And I mean, they have some limitations with the lenses they use, but I love this. I think this, I'm trying to remember, I feel like after I bought this lens, they came out with a new version of it. But it's the best. It never comes off my camera, basically.
You can get a lot of depth.
And I
of
have a
field with it.
Canon 5D Mark III, which is an old body, but it does its job.
Yep.
I love this thing.
Good questions.
And it's, yeah. What school did you finish? Did you go to design schools? So we both
went to the University of the Arts in Philadelphia,
Yes.
but we went for illustration. I then worked in textiles for 10 years, so within the fashion realm. And then while I was still there, we started Hemlock and Hyde. And then once our son was born, I quit my job there, started doing this full time.
You guys are unique. You have awesome style. Where did you learn this? Self-taught. A lot of it.
I mean, a lot of it is just like a passion. I don't know where where exactly that comes from. I think I've always loved style, however you apply that. Whether it was like illustration style, like I wanted that to be like something very specific in my head. Whether it was like how I decorate a space, like that was I have lots of feelings and opinions on how I do all of visual things. So I kind of think that that's just something that's within us.
Yeah, I think it's within us. I think we learned more about it in art school, obviously.
Yes, and how to take our passion and do something with it.
And I think we're both very much of the mindset in a lot of ways. Like, I think people can look at a finished good and be like, how could I possibly ever make that? And we're like, well, let's figure out how to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
for
you
sure.
have to have a drive to want to.
And a certain amount of, like, optimism, I
Yes.
think, to...
And, like, learning art the whole time, like, there's a gap in your skill versus what you have a vision for. And you're just always trying to catch up to that. So your
Yes.
skills kind of lead the way, and with your vision, and they kind of go back and forth with each other.
But I'd say as far as like our actual product goes, like and honestly, it does apply to interior design and even the illustrations that I did and everything like that. I just love structure and shape. That's something that I've always been drawn to my whole life, and it's just something that then just carried itself into making bags. And there's just, it's the reason too that like, it's one of the reasons why we specifically went into bags and not like smaller goods like wallets and things, because there's just less room to get creative in there. So I think I just love that I also have always loved accessories. So like it's an accessory. You can play with shape and it's utilitarian. Like there's so many things within that to get creative.
There's like history.
with,
There's a lot. There's
Yeah.
a lot. Thank you for modeling the size for me. 5 foot is a great size. My mom is the same.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Smart. Okay. Let's see if we're caught up. I took the Domestica course or have watched it. can't wait to make my bag. That's awesome.
Oh, awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you
we can't
so
wait to
much for
see.
taking the course.
Um,
I hope you
yes.
got a lot out of it.
what's your favorite bag? The one you like to do the most? To make or to wear?
Oh, to make?
Yeah, let's go with that.
My favorite bag to make.
You weren't here last week, so I feel like we deserve double time. It's kind of happening, so
Oh,
it's not really.
that is true.
Oh gosh.
That's so hard. It depends on the day. Honestly, I have really been into making. The mini Bowery is really fun to make, because like the first steps get you really far really quickly, so it's very satisfying, and you feel like, oh, I'm almost done. The last steps can kind of be a little bit of a drag, but it's also just a very great bag when it's done. I just feel very satisfied by it. It's very pretty when it's all done. But then like the Greta's and Phoebe's are much faster for me to make. So sometimes like that's really great to just like, sometimes after I've done a bag that takes a long time, it's nice to have those to like break things up. I'd say like the Shelby is probably not my least favorite to make, but it's definitely like more of
You don't enjoy it as much.
I don't, but there's very clear reasons why that is. Yeah. Part of it is there's a lot of like hand punching I have to do. Getting the zipper to fit perfectly every time is kind of a bit of a challenge. It's just a lot of additional steps that are time consuming.
And I think, so there are ways we could solve some of those problems.
Yeah, there is.
So it's always a balance because dyes aren't cheap. So
Yeah.
it's a balance between getting like dyes made that can make that faster, less painful.
Yeah.
Usually every time Leanne's frustrated with something, we try to create like a real solution for her so that it's
Yeah.
not like she feels angry at a bag the whole time she's making it and wants to just punch it because
Yeah.
she'll
I
do-
used to feel that way about the mini Bowery and the
I
Bowery.
know, you used to hate it. And
I
then
know.
you changed like
I changed
two
like
small
two
things.
two or
And
three
you're like,
things.
I
on
love it.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, here's the most important question of the day. What's for lunch? Probably a sandwich, let's be honest.
You know, I typically have a burrito, but the grocery store ran out, so I'm really frustrated. I don't know what my answer is
Do you
to
listen to music while working? I do
No.
sometimes. She listens to podcasts.
that. Podcasts all day long.
All day. I knew, oops.
I don't know how I would do this job of podcast.
I
So
knew I
like
resonated
this.
with you too. I graduated with a BFA in illustration from MIAD in Milwaukee.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're like walking, talking art school kids.
Yeah.
How did you know when to hold them, when to fold them,
Oh.
and when to walk away?
I am assuming
That's a
that
song.
I know it's
Okay,
a song.
just making sure.
Thank you. But I assume that I put that towards bags.
Oh, here's a
Bag
great question.
design.
How do you
And,
know what is the next step for your business and actually have the courage to invest and make the change? So I
that
like
is
to have
so
courage.
good.
So like, so here's where we're at, in my opinion, to grow beyond where we are. We kind of need to just basically empty our savings
Oh my God. Can you not say that out loud, please?
and
I'm going to throw up.
and start to make it happen. Like you, she's gonna vomit. But I think everyone reaches a point where
Just
you
get
need
off.
to
Get off of here now.
you need the risk for the reward. If it was easy, and the other option is taking on debt. Taking on debt because like otherwise, to operate, we need to have, in my opinion, that flexibility so that it can work, and then we're not making purely financial decisions because businesses won't be successful if you're just like trying to just get money out of people. That doesn't work, and it's not fun. So
I think I like checked out. It's
yeah,
fine.
she's over this conversation because I said no safety net.
Nice and puke on you.
Wow. But if we want to truly train like other
No, I
creative
know.
people
I know, I get it.
and have like money in the bank for payroll, like that's going to be for us one way to do it. I think that's why I'm kind of getting some numbers together, right? So if I realize at the end of the day that the money we have saved isn't going to get us there, what other options do we have? Can we try to crowdsource? Can we get a loan? Like how do we really move forward?
Right.
Because like we would then be taking on a certain amount of like rent or lease or insurance,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
And to like put that into like more black and white terms is like our next step we know is to get ourselves out of the basement so that we can hire and create a small team to help me make. Because it's things like that. Like if we could physically make more, we could do things like shows. We could do things like potentially be in boutiques. We could do, there are other things that we could do.
It gives us flexibility.
Yeah. We could be open all the time rather than having just order a week or something
maybe
like
open
that.
2 weeks.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe we would end up with a waitlist system. Like there's
Right.
just so many. It opens up options for us.
Yeah.
And
And
then
we could have like a storefront, or we could do. We could also have lessons and like teach people in the studio like once a month to do leather work or something like that. There's things that we could do that would add a lot of revenue to our business, but we cannot do it in our current space because it is our home.
And like that's like the whole push and pull of the risk. Do we do all this and then there's no demand for it,
Right.
or is the demand not quite what we thought, or is it more? Like there's so many questions that kind of happen. So that's why we try to do it as organically as we can,
Yeah.
and kind of meet the demand where it is every time.
What's your goal mass production?
Not necessarily. Our goal would
No.
be to have like a small creative team
Yeah.
that just like we're teaching a skill of making bags, and we probably would, in my opinion, would cap the most we would ever do. So like if we had 4 people working with us, and then we found like the sweet spot, we would probably just cap it,
Yep.
and then call it a day. Because the ultimate goal for us, in my opinion, would be the flexibility of it, so that Leanne gets to design and do the fun things she wants to do. I get to do the business strategy and marketing and stuff.
And our team helps
And
us
our team
to
helps us to
keep up with production.
Keep up with production, and I think that would be fun.
And then maybe we could do like
And we could do photo
cool
shoots.
photo shoots.
I
Yeah,
know.
with like actual
On location.
models.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, and I don't have to do it anymore. That would be amazing.
But there's just, like I said, it creates options to do the fun things we love to do. 'Cause
Yeah.
we love to do almost every part of our business, but the things you really, really love to do. All
There's
right.
definitely, I think there were other things up there, but okay.
Is there?
Maybe I'm wrong. I thought there was.
As someone who grew up with Leanne, I can say she's always had a strong eye for passion.
Oh, Ed.
That's always been super inspirational. Love watching this live feed.
Oh, thanks,
There we go.
Ed.
She's great.
He's super. Honestly, one of the main reasons I went to the school I went to is because of Ed. So, forget Ed here. That was nice.
The demand will be there. You guys are amazing. I keep missing orders from my spouse. Well, so the other half of that is like, we love the idea of creating like U.S. production and creating a team that like, and treating people right, and creating like a world that we're really proud of and that treats people the right way. Because I think there's like a lot missing in the world in that
Especially
space.
within fashion, yes.
So it would be deeply like
Yeah.
great.
What, are you crying?
Yeah.
Oh. Nick needs a moment. This is where like the passion really comes out. But
Didn't expect that.
okay. But the part for me is like I had a really awesome opportunity in my old job when I worked in textiles, and I got to work with a small team. It was mostly women. There was like 4 of us when I started, and there was 40 of us when I left. And I would personally felt like a lot of that environment was really amazing and really exceptional, and that I got to create every single day with other humans that were kind of in the same mindset that I was really fantastic. And I would love to be able to build that for our brand and have a small, awesome, like dedicated team who just loves what they do and gets to do what they love every day.
Yeah.
So, you okay?
Yeah. You already know I would model for you anytime.
I saw that.
Trevor,
Thank you
you can
for
come
that.
model for us whenever you want.
Anytime. He's way taller than me, so that'd be great.
You guys give me hope to try my passion. Yeah, you gotta find like a little tiny piece of the world and, you know, make it your own.
Yeah. Oh, he loves
Trevor
you.
loves me. Didn't expect to get so emotional. It just smacked me in the face.
It's all right.
You guys are great. You send to Greece.
Oh.
We
Oh yes, we
yeah,
ship to
we do.
Greece. Yep. We ship worldwide. Always just check your country's VAT tax. We don't want anybody to be surprised when the bag comes that like you owe a bunch of taxes on it or whatever. Every country is different, so. Oh, my mom is sending Ed love. One of the best people I know is Ed Hawkins. It's true.
Yeah.
You okay?
I'm fine.
All right. I
I'm
think
good.
you need to scrolly. Oh, I lied.
No,
You don't.
I think I just
We got to the end.
caught up.
Okay.
All right. So that's our vision and dream.
Wasn't expecting
it's
to
not
get there
really,
today, but
no, yeah, it's not really, and it was built step by step. Like, I don't want people to look at what we're doing and be like, it starts there. You can't measure what you're
No.
doing based on where someone else is. You have to do it step by step, build on the pieces that work, and then try to cut out the stuff that isn't working. And all along having a vision for what you want to do.
yeah.
So.
Yeah,
That's
the end goal is to have a really great space, a really great team, and create really great products that we can sell to really great customers.
And like a byproduct of that also, which I'm passionate about, is it would be something that would help like uplift our local community as well.
Yes, yeah. Hi, I just wanted to say domestic class is fire. Just wrapped it up yesterday.
Awesome.
Yay! Thank you so much for taking it. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that was such a cool experience. I'm glad
I think about that so much.
I know.
Like, we went to Spain.
I'm glad
we
people
filmed
like
the
it
course.
because we weren't sure. We're
And
just like, is this going to be
And
terrible?
I kind of feel like it was very stressful at the very beginning, and then filming it was amazing. And then afterwards, I was like, and dump that away and put
Yeah.
it in a box.
Well, we also knew there would be a long waiting period for
Before it
them to
actually
do
came
all
out,
the other stuff.
because they had to edit everything. Yeah, so it was
So-
very like, yeah.
I've seen like people interview who make movies, and they're just like, they kind of do the same thing. They take it out of their head for a while, and then they like kind of forget because there's such a long period between when it goes out to like a theater versus when you actually like act in it and do that stuff.
Right. When did you decide to go all in with the business? So I assume that you mean like full time. For me, it
Yeah, it
was
was in stages.
2018. We had the business for like a year and a half or so. But I had just had our son. And so I knew I wanted to take at least a year off of work to stay home with him and work on the business and see if we could make it into something. And it became something, so I just kept doing it. For Nick, it was after we moved to this house, which is 2020. And then I think you continued working for like a year, so maybe it was 2021 when you quit?
It's a blur. I think it had to be 2021, right?
Yeah, I think it was. I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And that was like, we were in this home, we have a bigger space to work. So physically it made more sense. And then just the sales were at a place where it made sense for him to be able to leave his job. It was not easy.
No. It wasn't even really planned the way it happened, but
No, we knew it. I knew it was coming.
yeah, she could feel it.
But it wasn't easy, and but we did it.
Yeah.
Just like everything else.
Just like everything else that happened. Yeah, it's like I said before, it happened in phases. It wasn't just like,
Yeah.
let's do it and
No, we
do it
both
without
had
any
full-time
kind of data.
jobs when we started the business. And then my leaving was a combination of like, I want to stay home with our son for his first year of life and give more of a go to Hemlock and Hyde and see if we can do some more with it. And that worked, so it just kept going. And then, when it made sense for Nick to leave, yeah.
If you can do your hobby on the side without the pressure of making it a business and seeing if it will succeed first, I highly recommend that, because then you're not trying to produce something that's already out in the world. You'll hopefully be more creative with what you want to do, and then that will resonate more with an audience.
Someone asked, do you remember your first order?
Yeah, I mean, the first day we launched, 8/14, right? So 2017.
Yeah.
So we got quite a few orders when we launched, mostly from friends and family, which I
Yeah.
think is to be expected.
Yep. And then our
we
first,
just kind of couldn't believe people would pay for our goods.
Yeah. Our first sale, though, we got before the website. Is that right? No.
No, everything happened at the same time.
Right.
I did it all at the same time.
No. I was thinking, like, did we do the show, our first show, before we did the website? It was
no, it was
right
after. It was after.
Yeah. Okay. Nick is answering questions on YouTube for some reason by typing them.
Well, this is someone's asking about Shopify, and we use Shopify, and I really like it. So we had the first tier for a long time, and then I did a little bit of cost analysis on the second tier based on the shipping costs,
Oh, discounts.
the
that you
discounts
get.
on shipping costs, and percentage based on each order to see when the break even was, and we were close to it. So I went up to that so that with the hope that we would continue growing.
Yeah. And the other thing with that is that you also get not just shipping discounts, but a ton more information and
reporting.
analytics on your business, which has been incredibly helpful for us, like making decisions on designs and colors and all kinds of things.
Yeah, I know. I love Shopify. I'm not paid by them,
Shopify.
but I really like a lot of the options they have, and they continually are coming out with like newer things. If you're someone who needs to code your own website, then that's not for you probably. But it's been really helpful in my opinion for someone who sells through the site.
Yeah.
Do you guys advertise any Google ads? We tried Google, we tried Bing, and Yahoo ads very
We
very
did?
early on.
I
Yeah,
don't
you don't
know
know
that.
this. Very early on, and I decided. So one of our goals, like we don't want to commoditize what we're doing.
No.
So in my opinion, using some specific ads like those would just make it like a price point driven decision.
Race to the
And
bottom.
we didn't really want that customer. We didn't want
Right.
somebody who was just like, well, I can get this bag at Target for $20. Like that's not the same value as someone hand making your item for you. So we pulled back from that early on, and then we just do Instagram ads now.
Yeah.
And to me, they're more about just getting people to see what we're doing.
Yep.
Hopefully
Just getting us-
interact with us a little bit,
Right.
get a feel for what we're doing, and then, maybe down the line they'll purchase from us, maybe they won't, but they'll appreciate,
What do you
the
think about
process.
selling on Amazon? We've been attacked by
we've been
Amazon.
attacked by
many
Amazon, by
times.
Walmart to sell with them.
Yes, we will never be doing that.
That's not something that we feel.
Again, that's commoditizing it, and like is not an interest of ours.
They take a huge chunk. They're trying to keep small brands, like there's so many things with that. So they're probably trying to get all your data to make sure that, see if they can do what you do better and cheaper and whatever. And like, I'm not for that. They take a chunk of your money to be on the platform. And you're not really special when you get onto those platforms.
It's kind of like
It's the opposite
Etsy.
of what we wanted to do.
Yeah. Like, yeah, and they're just going to show.
And we're not set up. Like, say we all of a sudden
Right,
had
our
a 10,000
prices-
bag order. We can't possibly fulfill that.
Right, both our prices aren't set up for the chunk of money they would take out of it, and we're not set up for like the production that, like Nick said, if we got like a bunch of orders like crazy. We are very controlled with the amount of orders we allow in right now every month, because it's literally just two of us at making everything. So, yeah, it's not something that we're looking to do. And to be perfectly frank, I think it cheapens.
To be Leanne.
To be perfectly Leanne, I believe it cheapens your brand, so I don't want anything to do
You have
with
less
that.
control over your imagery, all the other stuff.
Yeah,
So it doesn't tell the full story. And again, it makes you compete purely on price. And our goal isn't to make the cheapest bag. It never will be.
No.
We'd have to change so much about who we are. It's just not. It's not our values. They don't align. And that's not to say people can't purchase from them. That's the nature of life, right? There's different options. I'm super scared. I have a small business and have orders and very kind people supporting as followers, but I don't have anyone supporting me and helping me. Do you have tips?
Like physically make stuff.
Oh, wait.
I assume that that's what that means.
I mean, support in making or support like emotional support, because those are different things.
I'm assuming that you mean support in making things.
Yeah.
My best piece of advice on that is just batch as much as you can. So if you're making, obviously I don't know what your business is, and I am very much assuming that you're making it, but I don't know if that's true. But you know, if let's pretend you're making bags, if you're making this style bag and this color, make as many of those as you can, and then, you know, do the next style bag and the next color, that sort of thing. Just batching as much as you can is super helpful to produce as fast as you can. But you also have to really know your limits on that, because
Making, yeah.
okay, yeah. So for me, like, I think the most I ever did in a batch was 15 at a time, and it made me feel
And broke her brain.
a bit insane. And I feel like I'm better like 4 or 5 at a time.
Yeah.
And like even just taking that 15 and breaking it into like, you know, 3 groups or whatever of 5 would be better for, is that mathematically correct?
Yeah.
Is just better for my mental health and will actually help me produce quicker, because if I'm feeling sluggish on something, it's going to be sluggish. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I know
that's
that,
piece of
so I
advice.
try to help her by putting bags in different orders, so that it's like she gets a quick bag and then like a more taxing bag, and like, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So if you can batch in any way, I would definitely advise that.
for sure. And then as far as taking orders goes, I don't know how you're getting your orders in or if they just are continually coming, but for us, that's also one of the reasons we started being open for orders only 1 week out of every month. The first week of every month is when we take orders. Then we shut down for the rest of the month to make everything, send those out, and open up again. A large reason why we do that is exactly for this. We can control the amount of orders coming in, it's the amount I know I can get done. We can also order our materials a lot better that way, because we know exactly how much we need, that sort of thing. So.
This person says, when I have a customer gripe about pricing, I make a mental note and then raise my prices.
I like you.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember not everyone is your customer. Your friends and family maybe aren't your customers. You
Yeah.
might not even be your own customer. And the nature of handmade goods is they should be more expensive, because they take more time, more effort, and you have different scale.
Yeah,
Like the
and
reason,
we're not. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that in that way. It made it sound like we just raise our prices all the time. That's not what I meant. I just meant that like most people, especially in the making community, when they get someone griping about their prices, they immediately think, I need to lower my prices. And I think it's a backwards way of thinking.
I always say, like, if you were going to listen to your customer on everything, you would charge $0 for your goods,
And your bags would
you
have
would go out of
15
business
pockets.
and you'd lose.
And
So
9 zippers.
you have to be compensated fairly for what you do.
Yeah.
What color would you definitely not use? Definitely pink.
I don't know. There are shades of pink.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't have a good answer. Probably, you know what? Purple. I don't think I would do purple.
I guess you're right. It depends on the actual
The shade.
specific Pantone color.
I like purple flowers. I don't want to wear anything purple.
On the batching things, I'm at a point where I just want to try new things so I can really grow my skills and find the things I really like to make. I'm not there yet, but I want to make more money. Yeah, I know. It's a tough balance.
It is. And what we do is Nick will give me like what we call design week, which is 1 to 2 weeks
If
of
you're new here, you've never heard of Design Week.
yeah, is 1 to 2 weeks of not producing any of the orders and like typically we try to schedule it into like a slower time when we know
Yeah.
we're gonna have less orders and that sort of thing. But
Sometimes someone tries to sneak in Design Week right now while we're doing other important things.
I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, so you just kind of it's kind of sometimes it's about scheduling it.
Yeah.
For me especially, because I'm always like I gotta get all the orders out. Like I'm thinking that way. But if I just sit down and be like, nope, it's order week, it's scheduled, I have to do it, then I know I can just like turn that part off, focus on making the new thing. And sometimes the same goes with like other random work that's like outside of just making, because making is typically like 99% of what I'm doing. But there are some things like I need to make dies for the like to get shipped out. Excuse me. I need to make like illustration files or vector files for our dies, that sort of thing. I like just need to schedule it, because otherwise it will never happen.
Learning more on you guys. Thanks so much. Thank you for being here. Thanks for answering my questions. Have an awesome day.
You too.
How do you keep your bags clean during production? You got to have a clean workshop.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
kind of it.
a pretty clean person, and I'm constantly like sweeping off the table, and
If you're using light leathers or light material, it can
really
be
difficult.
Like you might as well like clean up, put paper down, and start that way.
Yeah,
But for the most part,
it's just about having a clean workspace. Not that
Yeah.
I think ours is particularly like spotless, but
yeah, maybe having one clean section of your table
yeah.
might be helpful.
Also, even within my table, like I tend to do certain things in certain
It's true.
parts of the table. So like I paint on the other side of the table
There's
when I'm
corners for
painting
painting.
edges. I'm painting over there. So if I do spill, it's not going to be on like anything over here that's like I haven't even put together yet. So yeah,
All right, I'm calling it. That was
Yeah,
a double live.
that was a double
and
live for sure.
Unexpected double live.
it was a crazy
If
one.
you have your last questions, get them in because we're done.
Yeah, that was an intense one. Oh, here's one.
Oh. Where do you sell your bags?
Everything
On the internet.
we sell is through our website.
I'm just selling using Instagram, but as just one person, Maker, I think, of other kinds of ways. Yeah, I think we touched on it earlier, but like if you can get your stuff into boutiques or at shows, you can learn about the customer that enjoys your stuff.
We started off by having a website and doing in-person shows, and that was incredibly helpful.
When I raise prices, I market it for a more appreciative crowd, not the Sunday sale shoppers. As a tanner and leather maker, it's all handcrafted, not AI art, so don't change my prices to fit their budget. Yeah, I think that's a good mindset. And like Leanne said earlier, it's so easy as people who make to not value your own work, so you don't set it at a value that allows you to sustain it.
Yeah, and allows you to make more and keep
And
going.
that means paying for your time and your materials, and then doubling that so you can buy those materials again, then also paying for a profit to keep reinvesting into your own company.
And there's a lot of other things to consider, like
And overhead
electric
costs.
bills and heating bills and
It's everything.
internet, all that jazz. So,
All the jazz.
and like especially when you like us make in your home, you can really kind of forget about a lot of those things, but
Well,
if we
pricing
were
structure
making-
might have to change if we get
Right,
out of here
if we-
because our costs change.
exactly. So it's a lot to consider, but
All right, okay. Love your brand, right. They wouldn't be doing that at Target or Kohl's, why do it to us? Yeah, I think that's tough. But I don't want, you shouldn't be in like an adversarial mindset with your customer either, or other people. Like,
yeah,
it's just simply not your customer.
I
You're not
agree
meeting
with
their
you.
needs. They can find their needs met somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's it.
kind of just a move on sort of situation.
And you don't have to feel guilty about it. Like, do big companies feel guilty about what they put on their shelves? I don't think so.
Yeah.
They probably don't.
And they're probably making it a lot less ethically as well. So
True.
there's that piece.
That's the whole other side.
Yeah,
All right, we're done.
we're going.
Calling it.
All right, guys, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
this
coming
was great.
on again. And we will be back next week, hopefully same time, same place, knock on wood somewhere so that I don't get sick again. But just as like a really quick wrap up, right now you can pre-order the mini Shelby in milled, in red, as well as all of our other colors. And next week you can pre-order the milled Charlotte sling bag in red and all of our additional normal colors.
Such inspiration. Keep doing what you do. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and experience. Yeah, we're happy to. Thanks for being here and for your questions.
Also, the Betty wallet and the Sally wallet are available to purchase in red throughout the entire ordering or pre-order process. So if that was something you're interested in, you can get those in red for this entire duration.
See if this works.
I'm done.
Did it?
Whoa, I didn't know you could do that. Wait, if I do that, will something happen?
No, it only works for me.
I did it. I didn't know you could do that.
All right, we'll see you next
Awesome.
week.
Bye, guys.
Oh,
Fancy.
oops,
What are you doing?
pressing the wrong buttons as always.
Don't mess it up.